Okay, folks, so this 2000 Dodge Dakota. Yesterday, I was pulling a very heavy car around behind the shop. Had a flat tire, had two flat tires. So kind of just dragging it in 4 low. And when I got it around to where I needed it so I could work on it, I went to put it back in 2-wheel drive, and this thing here, this shifter, just broke. It just does what it wants to do. It's not in any particular, and the lights on the dash no longer was saying 4-wheel lock. So went on the internet and did a little Googling, and apparently there's a rod up there on the side of the transfer case that comes loose. And I guess there's rubber bushings or plastic bushings, and they wear out and the rod pops out. And a lot of guys said that the rod was completely missing on their car, or their truck. It must have fell out going down the road. Well, let's look up under there and see. I didn't hear anything fall out. I don't see anything on the ground. So let's slide up under the truck and see if that rod is loose and if it's still up under there. Well, I got good news. There's the rod right there. And it has popped out. It goes in this piece right here, which goes into the transfer case. I don't think I can take that nut off without disturbing something in the transfer case. So I got to figure out a way to get that rod back in, and it should have a bushing of some kind on it. Fortunately, I don't need the 4-wheel drive right now, so maybe I'll go up to the Dodge dealer and buy that. It looks like it's secure on this end with a bolt that holds it in place. That's a good thing. Right there, pop that back in. Oh, it is busy up under here. Whew. Lordy mercy. Let me see if I can pop that in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a mirror up there, see if there's a bushing in that black piece that's covered in black oil. Let me check that. Okay, you're looking at a mirror. See if I can get the focus a little bit better. See that bracket with the hole in it? That's the mirror reflection of this piece right here. So there's no bushing in there. And get you back in focus. There we go. So I think we got to have a bushing in there. Let me get on the internet and see. But that's my problem. That's why it's popped out, why it won't go into 4 low or 4 high. Okay, guys, so I got the seal. The guy at the Dodge store gave me this Dorman part number. He was out of the Chrysler seals. And apparently, this the Ram and the Dakota take the same one. When I do my Google searches, you can find this for the Ram, but it doesn't say, when you go to other models, it doesn't say it fits the Dakota. I don't know why they do stuff like that. So I could have found this a long time ago if I'd known it was the same one, but I guess we'll give it a try. All right, guys, so got a couple lights, magnetic lights. They both have hooks that I can hang up from the hooks. A couple of screwdrivers is just kind of used to push the seal in. I was watching a video last night. The guy took a hose clamp and put around it. He didn't say how long he left it like that. And I guess he took the clamp off and I think compressed a little bit. Maybe he slid it in with the hose clamp. I don't know what he did. I'm gonna try it to see what happens. I got a heat gun to kind of heat it up a little bit, make it a little warmer, so it'll slide in, because it's 35 degrees out here today, and that metal, I'm sure it's colder than that. So let me slide up under here and get started. Okay, guys, so here's the deal. There ain't a lot of room up here. I've got the truck driven up on a couple of boards. You see that bushing right here? I'm gonna try to touch it with that right there, where I'm touching with the light. That's the one coming out of the shifter, the floor shifter. It looks to be okay. Right here, on this rod right here, is where the other bushing goes. And this light is about 1 inch wide. So there's 2 inches there between the yoke and the transfer case. I can't get my hand in there. If I was on a lift, I might could, I'm gonna land flat on my back. It is a 4-wheel drive. I did drive it up on some boards, but still. So I think I can take that nut loose right there, and I think that rod, or that bracket, is probably made where it fits on one way. I hope so. If I take that loose and it starts turning the transmission, no problem, but, or the transfer case. But let me try that, see if I can break that loose, and then I can get the rod out and get the bushing in. And once I get the bushing in, I think there just ain't no damn room in here, guys. Yeah, I think I can. Once I get the bushing in, I can probably pry bar that thing on in. Let me see. I'm trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time. Yeah, right there. So I got to get the bushing in first. And there ain't a whole lot of room for this thing to go back either. There really ain't. Oh, it's tight in here. Let me see what I can do. Okay, as you can see, I got it kind of cockeyed in there. And I don't want to cut it. I'm trying to push on it with a screwdriver and a wrench. The handle part of the wrench, it just don't want to go. So I'm going to get the heat gun out and heat it up a little bit, then take the wrench and see if it'll pop on in. But it's almost in. There's a booger up in there though. All right, guys, look at that. It's in. I'm gonna try to hold this phone so I don't get my big fat finger in the way. Get it right here. It's in there good. It's in there all the way around. What I did, I shot a little lithium grease on it, and then I just put the rod in and just pressed on the rod, and the rod's got this little shoulder, as you can see right here. And I just used the shoulder to kind of help me pop it on in. So see if we got a little leak on the transfer case right there. That nut, I tried to loosen that nut and it wanted to pull the, I need some way to hold that lever. There's just no room in there. So I said, let's not take that nut loose. I'm playing with something I don't know what I'm doing there. So if I had to do this over again, I would put a little lithium grease on the shaft and on the bushing before I attempted to put it in. And might even try putting the bushing on the rod and just pop it in that way. That worked. The lithium grease in the rod. Our next test is to put it in gear and see if it'll hold. Okay, I know the picture's blurry. I can't get it to focus. It's just no room in here to get the camera away and get a little light in it. But you can see the rubber bushings pushing out evenly. And I can see with my naked eye the little groove at the end of the rod is there. That rubber bushing locks into that groove, won't let it pull out. And I pulled it by hand. So it's in there good. We're gonna crank the truck up and run it through the cycle on the transfer case. Make sure it don't pop out again. All right, folks, let's test it out here. Close the door. Okay, shift into neutral. Right here. Foot on the brake, and let's pull it down into four high right here, and the light on the dash comes on, so it's working. And let's back it up, put it in reverse. Don't hear no noises, no grinding. Let's back up. There's my tools laying on the cardboard. Make sure ain't nobody behind me now. Okay, let's pull forward. Oops, wrong gear. Okay, we're still in four high. So back into neutral and just shift it back to neutral on the transfer case with 2-wheel drive. The light goes out. Now let's go into 4 low. 4-wheel lock button comes back on. Let's go back into reverse. Forward. It just engaged, okay. When I backed up, I couldn't tell any different, but I feel it now. It's like it's got a 511 gear in it all of a sudden. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's in four low. Okay, that's fixed. I'm gonna take it down the road and in 2-wheel drive mode. And just to make sure, because the other day when I did that, it was doing a little noisy in the transfer case, like a gear was trying to synchronize, which I don't think that's possible. But let me let's put it back in neutral. Let's pull it back down into 2-wheel drive. The light goes out. It's moving forward. Yeah, we're doing. It's working just fine. No issues at all. Let me take it down the road. I'll cut you off for a second. Let me put my seatbelt on and get the truck turned around and go out on the highway. And I'll cut you on when I get out there. Okay, guys. So far, so good. I'm getting a little bit of gas. I'm trying to get it up to 60, which is hard to do on this road because it's 45 and there's people pulling out in front of you. But oh Lord, that's my next problem is fine. I got a short. I ain't worried about that right now. And my alternator gauge is pegging. Got a bad ground, I think. We'll work on that next. But let me get this thing up to speed here. Well, that 4.7 is a strong motor. I know they have head gasket problems, but man. Lord have mercy. I think she's okay, guys. I ain't hearing anything in that transfer case, so I think we're doing okay. I think we're okay. And yeah, like I said, I got now so the gauge is going back down, the amp gauge over here. It pegged and that light came on, check gauges. That's my next thing I got to fix. So why in the world is it doing that? My 10 turn signals work intermittently also. We'll get that on the next one. On this here lately, I put a power steering hose, a pressure switch on it, not a hose, pressure switch, and a transfer case bushing. Okay, folks, I'm back in the backyard, back to the shop. Test drive went fine. I didn't hear nothing coming out of that transfer case. When I drove it the other day with the linkage disconnected, I was going to try to drive it, and this little gear chatter. And I thought, Lord, I don't want that thing to slam into gear. And talking to a couple of my buddies, they said, yeah, it could do that. It could hit a bump, hit something just right. And I don't know if it could or not, but I didn't want to take that chance. I'm pleased that I guess you got to have some tension on this to keep that from happening. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something for that. I would definitely spray a little lithium grease on the bushing and maybe get some sandpaper and clean that hole in that bracket out. I forgot to do that. I meant to do that. And heat gun probably warm things up a little bit too. I wouldn't get too crazy with that. And it should pop on in. If you're working on a Ram, you got a little more room. Probably got a couple of inches more room. Probably won't be bad at all. All right, folks, I hope that helps somebody out there that's working on one of these. You can fix this stuff yourself. I do recommend driving it up on some ramps, or in my case, I did some boards because my ramps are all being used in my other projects. Scroll down, look at some of the other videos we got. We got a lot of content on this channel, all kind of different stuff. Whatever turns your fancy on. Well, I probably don't have any road racing on here, but I got drag racing and project cars and cars we drag out of the woods and stuff we're working on. We got this old deal. We're trying to keep these old jalopies going. And because these newer vehicles are expensive, the interest rates are high, and the quality of these newer vehicles is poor. I don't know what in the world's going on. There's so many recalls and transmissions that failing at 80,000 miles, and it's $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 to put a transmission in it. And it turns out to be a manufacturer defect from what I'm hearing. I don't know what's going on out there with these newer stuff, and they got these turbo motors. So we're trying to keep these old vehicles going, and so we do some videos like that. So I hope you guys enjoy the content on the channel. Hit that thumbs up, scroll, watch some of the other videos, share, and hit the thumbs up on them too. You can scroll for a damn hour. All kind of stuff. Even some trailers we're working on. All right, folks, Bob out.